Hello, friend. This is Ryan Hicks of TalkToProfit.com. Today I want to talk to you about why you should not quit, but why you must quit. And what I'm addressing here is two different things. Most people go through life and they quit on themselves. They quit on things they're attempting to do. They never put forth their maximum amount of effort, and they never really get to the finish line. So many people are good starters, but they don't finish at all, or they just quit somewhere midway, or it starts getting tough and they're in that proverbial 3 feet from gold, and they turn around and give up. That is something that has to be corrected, has to be cured in your life, because if you keep going through life with these constant stop and start, stop, and just constantly quitting, something gets a little bit hard. That's just not for me. God must have not willed it, or whatever nonsense people like to tell themselves instead of the truth. Listen, you have to understand, in you becoming the greatest success you can be, and God blessing you and putting his hand of favor mightily upon you, you're going to have to do some things that are hard. Now, this is one of those things people have trouble with. God gifted you with this great gift of life. Who are you to say, I don't want to work hard. It should just all be easy for me. And you can get to a position where life is on easy mode. But in many cases, to get to that point, there's a lot of hard work done intelligently that must be done. And you can't be one of these people that whenever it starts getting a little bit hard, you start getting a little bit of pushback, there starts to come in a little tiny bit of adversity, and you quit. You shrink back. You do less. You start something different. Well, maybe this other thing will be easier. That's never the way to get to the easy life. Trying to find the easiest thing, because it's so much harder to go through life constantly bouncing around from one perceived easy thing to the next perceived easy thing, and constantly going with quitting and failing and all this stuff. If you just stick to something and focus, get laser focused, receive the blessing of the Lord, seek his wisdom and get it, and act on it, which is vitally important, because it doesn't matter if you have wisdom if you don't do anything with it. But take the wisdom he's given you, act on it, and keep pushing until you get to that level of success where it becomes easier. It's almost like that mythological figure Sisyphus, where he was pushing the boulder up the hill, and almost when he gets near the top, the boulder rolls back down. He has to start over and over and over again for all eternity. That's where many people are on that. They're on that same mythological rut. They start something, they think it's going to be easy. It starts to become a little bit difficult. The boulder rolls back down and they start over. Well, let me push it up this hill. Maybe this will be easier. But I'm telling you, if you keep pushing that boulder up, you're almost at the top, and it starts to get really hard, and you're like, I guess it's not going to work for me. No. It's not the time to quit. That's the time to keep pushing, because then when you get it over the top of the hill and it starts rolling downhill, it's all easy mode at that point. But it takes a lot of hard, intelligent work to get it up to that point to where you get to live life on easy mode. And most people never push past that sticking point, that little roadblock, that little tiny bit of adversity that seems to be blocking their path. They just don't push past it, they quit. And that is something you have to root out of your life completely. Now, the reason I'm telling you why you must quit is not about that kind of stuff at all. It's about all these useless endeavors people are engaged in. The endlessly scrolling social media, the sporting events, the movies, the music, the video games, the comics, the whatever form of entertainment that has got you bound and limited and doing less and being less and just being a mindless consumer. You need to quit those things. You need to make a dedication to yourself and to God today to quit that stuff. It is wasting your life away. God's giving you this great gift of life, and if you're using it on frivolous entertainment, you're literally squandering it, and you're mocking the Most High. Now, I know there's some fat pastor telling you about the latest movie he watched and how he loves this sporting team and all this worldly nonsense, and you think it's all right. But that's not your model. Your model is Christ. You're to be living in his image. You're to be an imitator of God as a dear child. You're to be conformed to his will, not your own, and certainly not the world's will. People are conformed to the world. That's what people do when they're mindlessly scrolling social media, consuming all the world's entertainment and movies and video games, all this stuff. That's what they're doing. They're being conformed to the world. But you have a higher calling and a better place in this life to not be some mindless consumer. Now, no one has to be that, but most choose that. And today it is just ubiquitous. Mindless entertainment is everywhere. And people are consuming it mindlessly everywhere. But that does not have to be you. You can rise above it and hold yourself to a higher standard, a world-class standard where you choose the best life possible. That does mean there'll be some difficulties, like I mentioned earlier in this video. There might be some adversity you have to push through, but you don't quit. The things you quit on are the things that are keeping you back from productivity, keeping you back from being a creator, keeping you back from being useful and valuable in this world. Now listen, everybody has intrinsic value being created in the image and likeness of God. But the reality is, in a practical, real world value scenario, the vast majority of people have very little value. Understand where I'm coming from. They have intrinsic value as a being created in God's image, but they take that image and mar it and become a mindless consumer, become somebody who just listens to whatever they're told, become somebody who doesn't even think, somebody doesn't question, somebody doesn't pray and seek God and get his wisdom. Somebody just is living and existing and is another number on the census of life, but they're no different. You could be interchanged with 1,000 other people, 1,000,000 other people who are doing the exact same thing and accomplishing nothing or very little to nothing. That's not the way you're meant to live. And I don't care how addicted you are. I don't care if you scroll social media for 10 hours a day and the rest of the time you spend playing video games. You can cut that off and start doing things that are useful and productive in this life. Your life does not have to be frittered away. It doesn't have to be just a waste. And don't be one of these people who likes to go, well, yeah, I'm just mindlessly consuming, so I'm just not worthy, it must not be God's will for my life. Stop. Don't be a baby. Don't be infantile. You make the choice each and every day. You're not in some loop where you have to do these things. You make the choice. Each time you pick up your phone and start scrolling social media, each time you pick up a video game console controller and start playing a game, each time you turn on the TV or whatever it is, you make the choice. And you can each and every day choose to not do that. You can say, no, I'm going to put my time into something useful, something productive. And I don't care what it is. If it's scrubbing your toilet, that's better than playing a video game. If it's washing your dishes, that's better than playing a video game. If it's, I got to fix the birdhouse in the back, go fix it. That's better than watching some nonsense on social media. But you could also do more important things to you. I get people all the time asking me about writing books because I've written dozens of books, over 3 dozen books, and they don't do anything. They're reading other people's books, which is fine, but they're not producing their own. Even though reading is good in most cases, it can help with your vocabulary, lots of people are using that as just a mindless form of entertainment. If you have a book in you, why are you not writing? And if you're going to watch videos, if you want to write a fiction book, why aren't you watching videos about famous authors and how their processes were in their writing of their books that were famous, that sold very well? Why don't you figure out how to do this? Now, understand, I'm not telling you to waste all your time because some people will study about doing something endlessly and never do it. You're much better off actually writing, getting the book out there, even if it's not very good. Your first couple books probably aren't going to be very good. Get it out there, at least get something accomplished and grow and mature and build up. And you also learn from readers what they liked, what they didn't like, and you can improve. But as long as you're thinking about it and not doing it, you're not producing. You have this great gift of life, as I said, and I must emphasize that because people just act like they're just here just to exist, that there's no deeper message than just existing in life, just being another number. But you are called to so much greater. You're called to be a co-creator with God. You're called to live a life that is glorious, a life that is what Jesus called the abundant life, a blessed life, a life of faith, where you walk by faith and not by sight, a life full of faith in the Holy Ghost, a life where you literally have what you say. That's the kind of life you should be living. And if your life is not being lived at that level right now, make the changes today. Quit the stuff that is wasting your time. Quit procrastination, quit all these useless activities, and don't quit on the things that are important, the things where it starts getting a little bit tough. Don't ever shrink back. Keep pushing forward. Now, you may have to adapt. There are business ideas that maybe didn't work out, but you can pivot and turn them into something that did work out. Or maybe it does work out, but you see, I need to go in this other area. Seek God's wisdom and act on it, and keep doing your all and keep pushing forward. If there's an obstacle or a hurdle in your way, seek God's wisdom and then act on the wisdom. Don't allow yourself to get complacent. Don't allow yourself to shrink back. Don't allow yourself to quit. Keep moving forward, and you will become very blessed, my friend. And God's favor will shine upon you each and every day. I pray this is a blessing for you. May God bless you richly.